A man nearly killed while riding a scooter in Denver wants to know why the man accused of shooting him is out on bond. Thanks for joining us. I'm Phil Lipoff.
And I'm Kim Christensen. Court records suggest the suspect was free on bond before the victim got out of the hospital. 9 News reporter Jaleesa Rosari spoke to that man, thankful to be alive.
All right, where do we start?
There's a reason why this story starts at a TV news studio.
It's really messing with my head, you know?
For Nico Francis, it's to be secure.
Yeah.
Something he hasn't been feeling much of lately.
Yeah, I don't know that I can feel safe until there is accountability.
On Friday night, Francis says he was riding a scooter down Stout Street to meet up with friends when he noticed a white SUV and the passenger inside of it yelling at people on the sidewalk. Francis says that man then turned his anger towards him, asking Francis if he had a problem and pulling out a gun before hopping back in the SUV and driving off. But a few blocks later, Francis says he spotted that SUV, that gun, and that guy.
I tried calming him down. I'm like, I don't know you. I don't want any trouble, man. I'm just going to trying to go meet my friends. He turns and I see him pointing his gun at my face, and it totally shocked me, but he pulled the trigger. I heard this really, really loud pop. I look down and I see blood everywhere.
Francis was shot in the neck.
So this is when I arrived at the hospital at Denver Health.
He was rushed to the hospital where
after they had
doctors told him he was
resuscitated
lucky the bullet missed all major arteries. According to court documents, police were able to find the car and the suspect, Anthony Apodaca, within minutes. He was charged with first-degree attempted murder and within days was able to bond out with GPS monitoring on a $75,000 cash surety bond.
I mean, I understand he's on house arrest, but that doesn't make me feel any better. I'd feel a lot more safer if he was in jail.
According to the Denver DA's office, they asked for a $100,000 cash-only bond, but the judge decided otherwise, leaving Francis uneasy.
I don't feel safe, and it's adding a lot to my anxiety, you know?
That's not the only thing Francis is feeling. He's also grateful for the guy he believes is unhoused that ran up to help apply pressure to the wound that day. One of the few people in this story that made Francis feel secure.
He saved my life, and even put himself in danger when there's gunshots being fired. I think that says a lot about a person.
Francis is hoping to find the man who saved his life and thank him. He says members of the community are also helping to track him down. As for the suspect, in this case, he is due back in court later this month. Kim?
Think of these random encounters, both the awful and the good, right?
Yeah, exactly. He said that the individual who came up to help him was the one bright spot in this entire situation.
All right, thank you, Jaleesa.
Fire crews stayed busy along the Front Range this morning. Evacuation orders have lifted for two different wildfires. First, the Larimer County Sheriff's Office says the Cougar Run fire is 100% contained now. It burned less than 4 acres near Carter Lake, southwest of Loveland. Larimer officials now believe that fire may have sparked after crews recently did fuel reduction treatments in that area. And in Boulder, a 2-acre wildfire is also 100% contained. Fire started near Hawthorne Avenue and 4th Street.
Early this morning, Kathy, it's like, woof, scares you.
It was, and we've been talking about Wednesday as being the day where we would have that elevated fire danger. The greatest concerns today due to the warmth, the wind, the lack of humidity. But to wake up and have 2 blazes going was a little bit scary. And for so many people, such a stressful afternoon. The winds are starting to come down a little bit, and some of those clouds hold sprinkles, but also maybe some wind and lightning. We're watching that pretty closely. Up in the mountains, it's possible we could see additional mountain snowfall over the course of the next 48 to 72 hours. We have 80s today in southeastern Colorado, 60s and 70s in Denver and on the eastern plains, where the average high is closer to 60. Winds have been picking up out of the west and northwest, but the trend will be for decreasing wind tonight after sunset. Not entirely calm though. Nederland, Allens Park, Estes Park, still the potential for gusts 20, 25, 30 miles per hour into the afternoon hours on Thursday. But this coming as part of a weather system that may bring a few rain showers to Denver, which is great. So we have low pressure west of Minneapolis and another low pressure west of San Francisco. In between is kind of an unsettled flow that will allow for waves of showers to come in. Not a lot to show you on the radar, but something, and we should see widely scattered showers tomorrow. Fast moving sprinkles cruising off the the foothills tonight. We get a sunny and warm day tomorrow, but tomorrow night about this time, I think widely scattered rain showers, a good bet. So maybe a downpour for many areas, and that would just be wonderful. So 60s sliding into the evening with overnight lows in the 40s coming up. Much more on the weekend forecast and a chance for a colder storm next week to bring us rain and snow to Denver on Tuesday. I'll have those details ahead.
Brighton has become the latest city in the metro area to implement mandatory watering restrictions. City Council approved a resolution to move the city into Stage 1 drought restrictions. That includes limiting irrigation to 2 days per week. Even street addresses may water only on Tuesday and Friday. Odd number street addresses irrigate on Friday, Wednesday and Saturday. Much like other cities, Brighton officials say the goal is to reduce water use across the city by at least 20%. Colorado is currently dealing with a historically low snowpack and a record warm start to the spring.
A Denver-based federal appeals court upheld the dismissal of Barry Morphew's civil lawsuit against prosecutors and investigators. This was first reported by our partners at the Denver Gazette. The court ruled that Morphew failed to state viable claims against the government officials involved in the first unsuccessful prosecution. Morphew was arrested in May of 2021, almost a year after his wife Suzanne disappeared. After the case was dismissed, Morphew filed a federal lawsuit over what he called malicious prosecution, targeting Chaffee County officials and prosecutors. A judge dismissed Morphew's claims, finding there was probable cause to charge him with Suzanne's murder. He was facing a first-degree murder charge in connection to Suzanne's death after her remains were found. An autopsy ruled her death a homicide.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says it is seeing an increased use of illegal e-bikes. The Sheriff's Office says these bikes are being marketed online as e-bikes, even though they exceed the 750-watt legal limit to be classified as such. Instead, the Sheriff's Office says they should be classified as motor vehicles under Colorado law. The Sheriff's Office says manufacturers are putting motors on these bikes that can reach speeds of 30 to 65 miles per hour. These bikes are popular among kids. The Sheriff's Office is asking parents to double-check their e-bike to see if it complies with Colorado law. If not, get them the registration.
Investigators in Aurora are asking the public for any information to a deadly house party shooting from last summer. Information about it. The shooting happened on East Bales Place just after midnight on July 20th. Police say when officers arrived, they found a large scene in the street with several shell casings. Shortly after, officers responded to reports of a person who had been shot. Police say Caden Mazzotti was taken to the hospital where he later died. Investigators believe Mazzotti was shot at the party and dropped off at another street. Anyone with any information on this case is asked to call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers.
The CEO and general manager of RTD says she'll step down from her role at the end of her contract. Deborah Johnson sent an email to employees saying she had declined an offer from RTD's board to extend her contract beyond May 8, 2027. She cited personal and professional reasons. She joined RTD in November of 2020. RTD board chairman Patrick O'Keefe said under her tenure, the agency improved safety, tackled the backlog of maintenance needs, and implemented several customer experience initiatives. Johnson pledged to support RTD's search in finding her replacement and a smooth transition.